someplace,
Compass.
a map. And the sky is just the same thing. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a map of the sky. It will not include the planets or the moon because those things move around. But you will be able to use this any day of the year. So this is what we call a planisphere, which is a special type of celestial map.
Isn't the sky constantly changing?
The sky doesn't change. The planets move.
Well, right,
the
rotate.
moon moves,
Of course.
But
through the seasons, they change.
Because of the movement of the Earth,
Right.
which is two different movements.
Right.
It's not only the rotation around the axis,
Go ahead.
okay, so that the stars appear to rise in the east and set in the west,
Right.
but it's the movement of the Earth, the revolution around the sun,
I see.
that causes us to see different stars in different seasons.
Right.
Because if you can imagine, imagine that this is summer. You're the sun, and I'm the Earth.
Okay.
Well, if I'm looking in your general direction, I can't see anything over there.
Right.
All the stars that are behind you, I can't see
Right.
because you're very bright. But 6 months later, when I'm over here, well, now I can see all of those, but I can't see all the ones that I could see when I was over on the other side.
Right, but like New York compared to like Florida, we have different skies.
Hemispheres.
It's different slightly. In Florida, you can see stars that are further south, and you can't see the stars that are further north.
Right.
I see.
Based on the hemispheres.
Right.
Based upon your latitude.
Cool.
Okay, so I've got some of these, depending upon how many people there are. Some of them are already cut out. So we're going to put all of these together. So if you want to pass some of these around.
A little bit above that.
You guys ready? Jess?
And then
Jesse.
on the edges.
Like this.
And you can put
Now Sue's going to tell us what to do, right?
Yep, that's how it'll be.
I set it up for next year.
And it also has the dates. And then you'll notice this one has time.
Okay.
So what you want to do is you want to line up the time with the date.
Oh, I see.
So today being October 14th,
7/27.
and
About 7:30.
14. 7/27.
at
7:30.
well, you have to take into account daylight savings time.
Okay, so make that 6:30.
Right.
That's our sky right now.
It's 6:30 actually.
But as long as
it's
it's,
7:30.
somewhat close.
Daylight savings.
Now, you notice that one side is labeled southern horizon, and across from that is the northern horizon? Okay, the sun just set over there, so what direction is that? That's west. Because the sun hits in the west. So if you stand with your right hand facing west, then directly ahead of you is south. So where it says south here, if you hold this over your head like this, then this is exactly what, or pretty close to what you would expect the sky to look like.
Oh.
Well, no, the zenith is right in the middle.
Oh, yeah, Polaris. Right.
Okay, so these are the stars that you would expect to see. Now, if you take a look and just move the chart around a little bit until you get to the same date, but a little bit later, notice how the sky changes. Notice that in the east, you're going to see more stars come into view, and in the west, you'll see other ones that go, off the page. So you can see throughout the months how the sky changes, and why you can see some constellations and some stars in some months and not in others, because it just moves.
The Little and Big Dipper in the sky right now.
Now, the dippers are very interesting objects because they are not constellations.
I knew that.
They are what we call asterisms, which means a familiar shape. Now, the Big Dipper is actually the largest part of a constellation called Ursa Major, the Big Bear. So it's a much larger constellation, encompasses a much larger area than just the Big Dipper. And so if we have Ursa Major, meaning the Big Bear, then maybe we should, since we have a Big Dipper and a Little Dipper, maybe we should have Ursa Minor, the Little Bear.
Okay.
And so, in fact, the Little Dipper is the major part of Ursa Minor, the Little Bear. And when we get outside, I will show you how we find, that's a good place to start, the Big Dipper, because everybody's usually familiar with that. And so we use what we know, and then we star hop to things that we don't know to find new things. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be star hopping. So let me give you an idea of what we're going to do. So, can you find the Big Dipper?
I said, well, hop on it.
Notice that the Big Dipper is not directly overhead. It's not made up of the brightest stars in the sky, but it's familiar. Now, if you take a look at the bowl of the Big Dipper, and you look at the two end stars and form a straight line, it points to another star. Can you see that? What star does it point to? It points to Polaris, and Polaris is what we call the North Star.
Brightest star in the sky.
No, far from it.
Really?
Absolutely. And that's so many people think, first of all, it's at the top of the sky, and it's only at the top of the sky if you happen to be at the North Pole.
Okay.
And it's not the brightest star in the sky, which most people think also.
I had a planetarium in my high school, so we were misinformed. Because that's exactly what he said always. Is Polaris is the brightest star in the sky. That was the first thing out of his mouth. But this is like 15, 20 years ago.
It wasn't the brightest star then either.
They just didn't know what they were talking about.
So we've already used something that we know to find something else. We've used the Big Dipper to find the Little Dipper because Polaris is the end star in the Little Dipper. So now we've got both dippers. Now we can use the Big Dipper to find another star. If you follow the arc of the handle around to the left and continue the arc around, you'll see that it goes to a very bright star in the constellation of Boötes called Arcturus. And that's a star that's actually right over there right now. And then you're going to see how we can follow Arcturus then to find several other constellations and other interesting objects. So that's a good place for you to start. And one of the big things that we're going to see is, besides the Dipper, is you're going to see 3 bright stars directly overhead, all of which are brighter than Polaris, by the way. And those 3 stars form a familiar shape. What do you think it forms? If you have 3 dots, what kind of shape is that? It's a triangle, exactly. And so, since it's directly overhead, and it's usually seen overhead in the summer months, we've got a very creative name for it. It's called the summer triangle.
Hey, I figured that part out.
But the summer triangle then is an easy thing to see and will help us find 3 more constellations and several other little things along the way.
We need to see 5.
What is so important?
Linda. It's this star up here. White one, the real white one. This one. If you take a look, right over here. No, lower. Well, I'll show you an easy way to find it. Your fist, if you hold out your fist like this, your fist from the top to the bottom, or bottom to top, is 10 degrees. If you take the bottom of your fist and put it on the horizon, so like the bottom of those houses over there, then take your second fist, put it on top of that, will be the first one. And then take your fist and put it on top of that, and then on top of that, so you have 4 fists above the horizon. It should lead you right to that star over there.